At the start of a hero's journey, you're often alone, but it never ends that way. Along the way, you meet an eccentric cast of characters who at first are just there to help you accomplish your mission. But somewhere down the road, something changes. You begin to open up. These once strangers come to mean so much more. It begs the question, if you all began this journey with different goals and ambitions, how did your paths become so intertwined? You realize that your need to be together isn't just about the mission anymore. It's because you care for each other. The adventures you've shared, the traumas you survived, the secrets you've revealed, even the gods you've defeated, they're not just plot points. They're the foundation of a bond that will last a lifetime. These relationships aren't accidental. They're what we call found family. And while the found family trope might often go unnoticed in JRPGs, it's actually a core emotional and narrative device that moves the story forward. These stories explore connection, healing, identity, and belonging, especially for characters who begin in isolation. In this video, I want to explore how JRPGs use the found family dynamic to create emotional resonance, develop characters, and deepen player investment. We'll look at examples from Final Fantasy, the Tales series, Persona, Fire Emblem, and more. Because sometimes the greatest treasure you find isn't the world you save, it's the people who save you. Hello everyone, my name is Vedro and this is Cozy Veggie, and on this channel we cover a variety of things such as video essays, reviews, JRPGs, and all things cozy gaming. Now, what I've noticed from the past 5 or so years that I've been playing JRPGs, I've noticed that the found family trope is kind of the foundation, I feel like, with JRPGs. A lot of people think of the amnesia trope or the silent protagonist or the hero trope, but I feel like one that gets overlooked and not talked about enough is the found family trope found in JRPGs. I mean, if you think about it, more often than not, you're playing the protagonist who's come from pretty dire situations, and along the way through his journey, he finds people who become a family for them. And it's really cool to see the dynamics between the player, the hero, and the other party members, and to see how they grow as characters, and to see how their bonds help enrich the story even more. So today I want to dive more into this trope and to see how it plays out in a lot of my favorite JRPGs, and maybe some of yours as well. So let's get into it. By definition, a found family is a group of people who form deep, supportive bonds without blood ties. These chosen families provide the love, support, and the sense of belonging that may have been lacking in someone's biological family. This concept resonates across many real-world communities, especially within the LGBTQAI+ circles, where chosen families can become a vital source of emotional support after estrangement or marginalization. So how does this apply to JRPGs? Well, many JRPG protagonists are orphans, exiles, or loners. They start their journey disconnected from the world, emotionally, physically, or socially. The party system in these games naturally encourages the building of bonds over time. Persona and Trails, for instance, literally reward you for investing in your relationships. And as much as the protagonist might start off as a lone wolf, good luck beating that level 80 boss on your own. In short, you need your party, and often your party becomes your family. When it comes to JRPGs, or really honestly any RPG or any game that involves a party, your party is kind of a means to ends that helps you maneuver the way through the world, to defeat bosses, and just make gameplay a lot easier, obviously. I mean, yes, you can go around playing in a game with just your character or the protagonist and make it really difficult for yourself, or challenging or fun, whoever it is who's playing it, but your party is really there to help make your traversal and gameplay a lot easier. But I feel like they're not just a means to an end. There's so much more than often than not. Your party helps grow the protagonist or the MC that we're playing, or you as the character, depending if it's a self-insert or not, grow in the game. It allows you to learn more about your trials, your tribulations, your ambitions, your motives, and your identity as well. And I feel like, especially when you have a good, well-balanced, and well-oiled machine party, it just makes the game, and the narrative especially, just 10 times more enjoyable. At a glance, a JRPG party might seem like a collection of characters designed to fill gameplay roles, but under the surface, these characters provide emotional grounding. They're not just damage dealers and healers, they're your confidants, your protectors, your home. Take Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. He starts off as a stoic, closed-off amnesiac, surrounded by an unconventional group like the Avalanche, childhood friend Tifa, and the ever-mysterious Aerith. He seems emotionally distant. But as the story unfolds, and as Cloud uncovers the truth about his past, these companions become a vital source in his growth. Through their care and friendship, he learns to depend on others and begins to heal. Or look at Tales of Arise. Alphen, another amnesiac, JRPGs love to use this trope, is driven by revenge and surrounded by a dysfunctional party constantly bickering. Yet as they journey together, they slowly learn at each other's quirks, traumas, and truths. These once fractured individuals evolve into a unified team, a true family forged in adversity. Found families act like emotional therapy. Characters grow not in spite of each other, but because of one another, seeming like the differences are highlighted more than the similarities. But as the journey goes on and you get to know each other because you're forced to grow with each other. If you want to work and you want this party to work, you have to learn to lean on each other and to learn from one another. And you see that definitely in the games that I mentioned before with Cloud, who comes off as a very emotionally distant, cut off, emotionally unavailable person. But as they go on their journey and they find out more about themselves and the world that they're fighting, they got to open up with one another and to learn more of one another and realize that you're not alone in this journey. You have this party there for a reason. They're not just there to help with your mission, but they're also there to help you as a person grow and to evolve and to realize that this world is not meant to be ventured on alone. A great JRPG doesn't just tell you relationships matters. It shows you, through mechanics and through gameplay. Take Persona. Atlus does a brilliant job turning emotional connections into gameplay systems. Confidants and social links aren't optional, they're crucial. The time you spend with party members during school or after class isn't just for flavor, it's how you grow stronger in battle. The Phantom Thieves in Persona 5 are a perfect example of a found family born from isolation. Joker, ostracized after being punished for standing up to power. Ryuji, a former track star, is cast out for speaking up. Anne, and admired for her beauty, is kept at arm's length. Yusuke, exploited by his mentor. Makoto, crushed under expectations. Futaba, a shut-in. And Haru, silenced by family legacy. All outcasts, all broken in some way. But together they heal. Together they fight. Fire Emblem, Three Houses, takes it further by making you, the player, the professor. You're not just commanding units, you're mentoring them, teaching them, protecting them. The house system turns your party into students who depend on you, and in return, you build bonds that make them stronger in battle and richer in character. Mechanics like support levels, link attacks, and social bonds aren't just power-ups, they're emotional milestones. Now, I know a lot of people kind of don't love the support conversations in Fire Emblem or don't care too much for the social links, the confidant bonds that you make in Persona, but I feel like for me, they are a crucial part to these games. For me, I am someone who enjoys narrative first when it comes to any game that I'm playing, but especially in JRPGs, and I feel like with these support levels and social links, they add just another layer to the narrative aspect to it. Because yeah, you can play these games and go grind out with the gameplay and the combat, and that's cool and fun, but I feel like in order to really invest my time and to get connected with the game, I need to be connected with the characters, and the social links and the social bonds and support conversations allow me to do that. Like when I first played Fire Emblem Three Houses, I looked at a character like Ignatz and thought, oh my god, he's just like a whiny little nerdy guy that I'm not going to really care too much about. But over time, I got to know more about his history, his background, and him as a character. I grew to really fall in love with this character. I did not support him. But if I do ever replay Fire Emblem Three Houses again, I don't know if I will because I've played that game like 5 times over. But if I do, I definitely want to support him because he's such a sweet and endearing character. And if I didn't take the time to really learn more about his supports, learn about him and his supports, I wouldn't have been even thought of as supporting him. Now, I know with Persona, there are especially Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, there are so many characters that you have to do social links with, especially towards the later half of the game. There's so many to keep track of that they all in turn help with your gameplay and make your time in the combat, whether it's mementos or grinding out through palaces, a lot easier. But they're so much fun. I didn't max out a lot of them during my playthrough of like Persona 5 Royal, for example. I know I didn't finish the wardens with I forgot their names, Justine and Christine or something like that. I could be wrong. But I didn't finish the support. I know I didn't finish Chichio, the journalist. I didn't finish hers. I didn't finish the fortune teller girls. There's a lot of them that I didn't finish. I know that I maxed out like my parties, but it's just really interesting to really get to know them as you go onto your journey. That's the whole point about this found family, is that due to whatever circumstances the main protagonist or the MC or the self-insert character that we find ourselves in, these characters that we find throughout our journey are our new family. These are the people we lean on. These are the people that we depend on. And of course, we want to take the time to get to know them and to nurture these bonds with them. And overall, in the end, not only do we heal, but the party heals as well. Found family isn't just an emotional trope, it's a political one. In many JRPGs, these characters are actively pushed to the fringes of society. They're orphans, nobodies, exiles, and rebels. But instead of succumbing to the isolation that's been forced upon them, they choose each other. And in doing so, they resist the systems that tried to break them. Take Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Noah and his childhood friends from Keves team up with Mio and her allies from Agnes, two warring factions. Everything in the world tells them they should hate each other, but by becoming Ouroboros and seeking the truth, they find common ground. They find family. The Legend of Heroes Trail series masterfully uses this trope, whether it's Estelle and Joshua forming a family with the Racer Guild in Trails in the Sky, or Class 7 resisting classist militarism in Trails of Cold Steel. These stories are about marginalized people creating their own communities. In Trails, the party isn't just fighting monsters, they're resisting bureaucratic corruption, class divides, and political manipulation. They're healing not just themselves, but the world. One thing I want to definitely mention and stress upon is how the Trails series, I feel like, does found family so well. I mean, you see it with Estelle and Joshua when they pretty much adopt Ren into their family. And then we all know, if you've played the Trails games, that you know that Ren has been through it. She's literally a child soldier. I mean, most of the characters in this games are child soldiers. She was found like literally an orphan and taken into and succumbed to really horrible, tragic things in her life. And due to her circumstances, was forced into the only place that would accept her with going into a line of horrible work. I'm realizing that I'm probably spoiling a little bit of her character story, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But Ren is a character that has gone through so much, and it's very interesting to see how she kind of finds herself on her footing as the series progresses. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I realized I kind of spoiled a little bit of the story, so sorry. Sorry to those who want to get into the story, so I will definitely put a spoiler warning right there. And also for the next couple games that I mentioned as well, the characters that I mentioned. And then we also have Kia in the Crossbow duology. I won't say much about her, but she also, similar to Ren's background, kind of goes through something very similar to her story and finds a new family in that game as well. And then there's also Altina 2 in the Cold Steel series. Also very, very similar. There's a very common thread there with those characters, where they find a character who's put in a horrible situation and forced to do horrible things, but later finds out that she can break away from that situation and find a new family that truly cares for her and her ultimate growth and her own ambitions and drives, which I think is really beautiful. And again, it's also a very common thing that you see in a lot of JRPGs, especially with the JRPGs that I've been playing recently. There is one more member of every found family in a JRPG. You. As a player, you're not just watching this family form, you're part of it. Whether through dialogue choices, social bonds, or base building, your presence shapes the party's dynamic. Games like Suikoden or Mass Effect style JRPGs even give you a headquarters, a home base where your chosen family can gather. And because you've spent the time investigating in them, the emotional payoff hits harder. These aren't just characters, they're your people too. The replay value, that comes from wanting to relive the emotional journey, that connection, that family. I feel like when it comes to the found family trope, I feel like a person that definitely gets overlooked is definitely you as the player. Your choices in the game, the players and the time, the investment that you put into this game is just as important as the party members in the game. I mean, there are many times when I play these games where I'm so emotionally invested that I've laughed with some certain scenes and with the characters, or I've cried alongside with these characters. I've wanted to root for these characters. So don't forget that you are just as part of this family as the party members that you play as well. In JRPGs, found family isn't just a trope. It's the soul of the genre. Through shared struggle, emotional healing, and mutual growth, these stories remind us that even when the world feels broken, people can still come together. In the face of ancient gods or apocalyptic threats, it's not your stats that save you. It's the people who stand beside you. The best JRPGs don't just give you a party, they give you a family, and sometimes that's all you really need. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a fun time writing this script. I took a long time to really write this one. I've been working on this for almost a month now. I've just been fine-tuning it and wanting to make sure that it made sense and that it meant a lot to me and that you guys enjoyed it as well. I think the found family trope is such a beautiful one, especially done well in JRPGs. And I would love to hear, what are your favorite found families in a JRPG or any RPG really? If you guys enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye!